So when I approached the problem of how I was going to teach remotely, which then informs this hybridity of both synchronous and asynchronous experiences for my students as they try to learn the material, I had already been thinking within a kind of UDL framework. And of course, UDL talks about differences in the way that we might create engagement, right? So, how students are motivated, the kind of why of their learning, so their engagement. It also talks about multiple means of representation or the what of their learning, right? So, different options for the way students might perceive, use various kinds of language or symbol to show what they've learned, and then also different means of and options for comprehension. Right, so we have engagement, we have representation, and we also have the action and expression of learning in UDL, which is about the different ways that people go about learning, the how of learning. And so in thinking about what I was going to do in this new universe of being a talking figure on screen with a PowerPoint, or not even having that, maybe in some cases using different means to teach, because I recognized that not every student was going to succeed in this kind of framework, that they might need something else. I began to think a lot more about what it might be like to apply these principles in situations where people need to maintain their engagement. They need to have a sense of what they're learning, and also different means and modalities of getting there, when they couldn't share the same space with us. That would be one of the major limitations that the design was working with. And so I came up with a few ideas. I'm going to share those with you orally now, and then go back to text. The first one is that I discovered that what it would require for the students to do best asynchronously was often very different from the kind of thing that I might have in a classroom experience. One of the major differences had to do with the length of videos and length of lecture-like things that I could show. And then another difference is with students working asynchronously, you actually don't have real-time interaction. Not just as a teacher with the students, but the students themselves also don't have real-time interaction with each other. And so one of the biggest challenges was, how was I going to let the students feel engaged with each other as a means of maintaining their motivation and engagement? And frankly, that was really difficult. So there are things about both the chunking or the grouping of materials, and then also the modality through which you're going to engage the students. And I'll address those in the blog, mostly in writing.